Good evening, everyone. We are opening the East Long Meadow Charter Commission's meeting of December 17th, 2015. First, is anyone electronically recording this meeting? And if so, please state your name.
Marge Sorrell.
Thank you, Marge. And we are also being recorded on LCAP. And let's move on to roll call. We'll start over here.
Ralph Page.
Russell Denver.
Tom O'Connor.
Dawn Stark.
Larry Levine.
Bill Fonseca.
Eric Madison.
George Kingston.
Thank you. And Ray is absent. He is on his way to California.
He's there.
Yeah.
He sent me an email today. He said, hello from sunny California.
Hope he enjoys it.
So, tonight, as you probably have gathered, we should hopefully have a reasonably short meeting, depending on how conversations go. We need to discuss how we're going to conduct our public hearing. And I sent out a rough draft from Russ, who put it together and broke down the charter, which went out today in the reminder, and I want to give a plug for the reminder at this point in time. They did a phenomenal job of being easy to work with. They put it together in this booklet form that is lovely. They held the price because the other format was going to take a lot of work in moving things around, and we would have had to have proofreaders. So I want to thank them publicly. They were great to work with. So Russ took the draft and broke it down into sections that make sense. And we've got 8, and there are 9 of us. One of the ideas floating around was that we each sign up and take a section and present it. Having said that, there are different skill sets. Some people are comfortable speaking public, others are not. If anyone here does not feel comfortable speaking public, someone else could pick up that piece perhaps. The other side of the coin is we're all elected, and this way we could each present and be a part of the public presentation. That's about all I'm gonna say. We can start discussing if this is the way we want to go, and who's going to write it, and if each person's going to take a section and write their own, or however you want to do it.
Well, I think the outline is a good start, but it occurred to me when I was looking through this that we have, 11 articles?
Articles?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I think it's 11.
10.
11, no,
Wait,
this-
10?
no, I think there's 11.
11.
11 articles.
Okay, yes, correct.
And there's 9 of us. It would seem to me that we could easily break, if everyone wants to present, assuming everyone does, that we could break these down, that everyone presents one article. Some folks would get 2, but if you look at like Article 10, it's a very short article. So that could be coupled with 11. And I haven't gone through the rest to
Right.
to figure out who else would get 2, one being a very short one. But, and then kind of using the outline that Russ has provided in terms of, making the points. I'm thinking, I don't know, a 5-minute overview on each article, because, I mean, you're talking,
An hour.
when you put it all together, you're talking a fairly
50,
long
60.
presentation, yeah.
But to get the point across, we want them to understand it. It would take a
gonna take
5-minute
that.
window,
Yeah.
depending on if that's.
I do like Russ's suggestion, though, the first 3 sections here, of discussing the process.
Yeah,
I think that's
Yeah.
critical. Some of the articles are pretty much, don't need a whole lot. For instance, Article 1,
is definitions,
Is
basically.
definitions.
Yeah,
which
okay,
we
so,
wouldn't
right, there you go.
Jump
You-
right
you
into
know,
2.
legislative is Article 2, executive is Article 3, 4 is other elected officers, which only deals with the school committee, and therefore it's really, doesn't need a whole lot of explanation,
No.
doesn't change anything. But Article 5 gets into the existing elected boards and appointed boards and organization and things like that. That's Articles 5 and 6.
I mean, taking a look at it, I mean, Russ has pretty much broken it down. Not exactly as each article in here, but they seem to all be covered.
Yeah, I think they are.
There's no pride of authorship. I mean, we can change this any way you want.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
think
it was a
it's,
starting point for conversation.
yeah, I think it's
I
important,
liked it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What was that?
It was good.
Oh,
yeah.
It is good.
thanks.
I think it's important to talk about transitions, okay?
That's going to be a
And
key piece.
Transitions of how we have designed it in this charter, the reasons for it, what happens to the people, the current office holders, because you're gonna have, if this passes, you're gonna have newly elected officials in April, the same day that this could pass, that are gonna be directly affected. So I think that needs to be,
Transitions, the other one would
Citizen
be
relief.
the
Citizen relief.
citizen initiative.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
Citizen
that's a
relief,
huge one for
Yeah.
people to understand and realize how much, I think, care we crafted in allowing that public access.
It could go under 4 legislative, because that's really where it interacts with the town council.
It does talk about citizen participation, and that's where you could cover
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
issue of initiative, recall, and referendum.
Well, if we're gonna hand these out, which I believe we're going to
Kind of want to follow it.
have some,
every
yeah,
time.
I think we should not confuse it anymore and try to follow it.
Right.
You know, even if Article 1 is a 2-minute, Article 1, and then to the next article, and so on, so that people can follow in their, as we go along.
That's a good idea, I think, but I do think we still need to get through the process before we get into
Right,
the.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, fine, yeah,
Well, you
yeah,
know
and
what?
that can be like the first presenter to
Yeah.
talk about the process and everything, yeah, absolutely.
that's how.
Because
it's-
you're absolutely right, I didn't even look that carefully. Some of these articles, I mean, it's a 30-second blurb on it. You know,
Right.
this article's the definitions, if, you know, it's where you refer to for specific words, blah, 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 whatever. Move on to the next.
Yeah, to George's point, when we talk about the process, you talk about the initial process that Russ put together?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first 3 bullets that he has here, initial process, interviews, and
Yeah.
ongoing process. And the only thing I would add to that is somewhere to stick in the statistics on the number of eligible towns for this form of government in the state and the percentage of those towns that have adopted this. Because that was somebody threw that as a curveball
Yeah.
last time.
Right.
We got to address that right up front.
Got all of that information.
Good, so,
Yeah, I think to that point, it's important that we start at the beginning of the process and walk them all the way through it once again as if they've not heard this before,
Right.
Mhm.
since it appears that some others have
Yeah.
not in the
This-
past.
This can serve as a tutorial.
Yeah.
In
But-
addition, we need to hit some basics, because I've been hearing it again. Charter
Yeah,
versus Comcast,
right.
you know?
No, it's still there.
It's funny, but it's
Yeah.
Well,
not
except, yeah, but to be honest with you, I don't see those people
watching.
showing up at the public hearing, and if they do, it won't take them long to figure out, oh.
But I'm more concerned
This is
about them
something
showing,
different.
I'm more concerned about them showing up at the ballot box
Yeah, and not knowing.
yeah.
and not knowing. I agree with
Well,
you.
right, but we're putting together the public hearing.
I know we are.
You know,
But
so,
we've
I
also
mean-
got to think about educating, if it's
Yeah.
still out there, Charter versus Comcast.
Yeah, well, that's just one piece that we'll have
Well, yeah.
to address.
We
But
just-
this will also be filmed, so this, even just the educational part could be replayed, because it's going to be a fairly
It's going
long
to be a
night.
long one.
But this could serve as a piece of our educational, long-term. We can use it more than one shot.
So what I didn't put in there, but I think we as a collective group need to do is just as an internal document on the outline, fact checked. So at the very end, if there is one person who we can assign to the committee to jot down facts that are espoused by individuals at the public hearing that are incorrect, and at the very end, correct those statements.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good job for the secretary.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that, as you know. But I really do, I think we need to leave people with the real facts. Sometimes, we've all been to public hearings, someone stands up and screams and yells, and there are people who then believe that it must be true. And they leave with that impression. I want people to leave knowing what is the legal facts of what can be done, what can't be done. And we're not talking, I believe, this is the actual
Right.
what can be done and what can't be done. So from an internal document, I think we should have that as part of that. But
Makes sense.
I don't
It
know.
does make sense.
But- And the other thing that I put in, which I think it's important, because I think it goes to the efforts of everybody in this group. So one thing is, so who are the committee members and what has been their involvement in town? Because one thing that I find when I talk to people is, I'll just use Eric, Dawn, and myself. We're all members of the Appropriations Committee, and we voted unanimously to eliminate the Appropriations
Yeah.
Committee. You two are elected members of the planning board. You voted to eliminate an elected planning board. You're a former longtime member of the Board of Selectmen. You voted to eliminate the Board of Selectmen. And you did it, I believe, because you believe it's in the best interest of the town.
Right,
So I want people to see that there is no self-serving here.
right.
I mean, we essentially are putting ourselves out of, well, I know, we're putting ourselves out of a job,
Well, and
you know, so
Yeah.
it's,
into that, sort of in that same vein, just statistics within this group of, there's
Years of
several of us
service.
who've never been elected officials before. There's quite a mix here.
Yeah, it
with
was
us.
a good mix,
Yeah,
you know.
it covers a lot, just so that they know.
Well, it came up, and I wasn't at the last public hearing, but I did watch it, and it came up with, well, where did you people come from? When
Right.
did this happen?
that's why the process.
Oh, yeah, I know. But, and that's just, I get it, but it's unreal.
My mother and father.
I mean, how long did it take the group to collect signatures? What, you know,
Good answer.
and I wasn't involved in that piece, but how long did it take the group that was? It's not
Long,
easy.
grueling,
Because,
cold and hot and wet.
well, yeah, it's a long time to get that number of signatures and then to go over, because people that signed it in August didn't remember that they signed it in September, and how many duplicates were there, and that whole, you know, to make sure that it would get on the ballot.
So we're kind of getting away a little bit,
Yeah.
Yes,
Chair,
we
so,
are. So we need
Right
to
back
get
in.
down to who
Well-
wants to do what,
Well, it sounds like, why don't we start with
the beginning.
going through, well, I think it sounds to me like we've already kind of all agreed on a basic outline. Now let's just get that outline written down, I think. And then we can group it and then make assignments for each group, if you want to do it by article or group of articles or however we want to do it. And then the last thing that we'll decide is whether each person is, who's presenting a specific area, doing their own PowerPoint, or whether they want to, you know, to me, it seems.
The actual creation of it.
Yeah, how do we want to go about that, so, does that make sense?
Sounds good.
It sounds like we're all in agreement that the first three of the initial process is a good place to start. And with that being said, I would like to present number 3, the ongoing process, the number of meetings, the number of charters. If no one on the board has an objection.
Does 1, 2, and 3, do you think that should be one presenter?
I think that, and
Well,
I'm looking at this as I'm stepping back and I'm in the audience, I think it's important that we present so they are comfortable with the presenter and they have an opportunity to listen, understand what's being said. And sometimes that's a comprehension issue with voices and people in front of a mic. I think that the important thing is to have someone do 1, 2, and 3, as you were suggesting, so that people get comfortable, relaxed, and they understand, and it's not, we're not switching leads all the time.
Yeah, keep it to a, I mean,
That's fine.
we're gonna have
Yeah.
to switch quite a little bit, but
Yeah.
let's keep it to a minimum, yeah.
Yeah, but if we're organized,
Do you mind doing 1, 2, and 3, Ralph?
I would prefer not to,
I-
only because I could really get into this and take up 45 minutes to
I'm
an
just
hour
thinking
standing
that-
up
But
there.
we can't, though.
Well, that's what I'm
I would
saying.
actually like to do 1, 2, and 3, because I then can introduce,
Yeah.
and as chair, and
Yeah.
then let you guys handle the rest. Does
Okay,
that sound
so,
okay?
What-
And
I would agree.
I have no problem writing this.
so
I'll
is
need
that,
help on
She wants to.
is everybody good then with 1, 2, and 3 being one
Being
group?
one section.
One group and
yeah,
one
I
presenter?
think that makes sense.
Because as I'm reading it, I'm thinking it would flow pretty well.
Yeah, it's everything we've done to
Yeah.
this date.
And then we get into the meat of the.
So why don't we get the
Yeah.
groups, and then
Yes.
we'll do the assignments of
Yes.
who.
Yeah.
One quick, I don't know how this happened, but there is no Article 9.
Yeah, I noticed
What?
that.
There is no Article 9.
Wow.
It goes from Article 8 to Article 10. I think that's just a numbering issue. Okay?
Yeah.
I went through this. We all.
Oh, I was
We
thinking
all went through
section.
this. But there's a numbering issue.
Wow.
So we can start with that?
Article, yeah.
You know what, I don't think I
Well-
ever read the headings on each
I don't-
one.
I didn't.
I think I just went
Yeah, I
right to
think
it
it's
when
a
I read.
numerical.
It is
Yep.
numerical. We didn't,
It
I don't
is.
think there's any information missing.
No,
Right, it's a
it's
numerical.
it's a numerical.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
tell you there's no information
No.
missing, because I went back through the last two that we
So that'll
had.
be for, write that down for the final draft, please.
But Vegas, if you want to go through this by section, Donna does the intro.
An intro, and then we start
Right.
with
And then we
where
start with-
people will take out.
Correct. Articles
and follow.
1 and 2, the same person can do that, because Article 1 is
Definitions
definitions mostly, and Article 2 is the needs, it's legislative.
is legislative.
And
So-
Article 3 is the executive. Next comes Articles 4 and 5, which is really existing boards and financial procedures and so on. And then 6, 7, and 8 go together, and 10 and 11 go together.
So,
We're 9 and 10,
What about
however.
town manager?
9 and 10.
Boy, I'm going by the numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well,
know
we gotta go
what
by
you're
the numbers that are here.
Article 3.
legislative should stand
On
by
its own.
By
itself.
itself.
With Article 1.
Yeah,
And
Article
yeah.
1's a
Yeah.
30-second
Yeah, it is.
presentation. Yeah.
So that's that. Then next executive, which is the
Article
town
3.
manager, Article 3. Then we go on to,
So those are, now we have
Wait a minute, yeah.
3 different presentations right there.
that's correct.
Okay.
Right.
I'm drawing
Making sure- I'm
lines.
just making sure I'm
This-
following along here.
So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm writing down speakers. Okay. Then, after executive town manager, other elected offices. And we also have Article 5 that is related, correct? Administrative
organization.
organization. That next section is
Tiny.
is the school committee, and then the other pieces. Does that make sense for Article 5 and 4 and 5 to be
Yeah.
together?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Or 4,
Yep,
4 and 5?
yeah.
If we do
Yeah.
those together, should we also, I know they're under transition, but include appointed boards?
Yeah.
Elective boards and appointive boards, and what's gonna happen to them all at the same time?
Yeah, there's not much there under 4
But
and
then
5.
that's in Article 5. The appointing authority,
Well, that's the appointing authority.
But
The
what
appointed
happens to-
boards are actually all the way back in transition.
Yeah, well, that's Article,
But
it's
that,
Article,
that's gonna
Yeah.
be talked about in transition. That
Yeah,
that
because
article's gonna be
transition-
talked about.
Yeah.
yeah, transitions, I think, has to be separate, even though there is some duplication.
yeah.
Understand that, but, I mean, there's certain boards, the planning board, the housing authority, the DPW,
But-
they're all gonna be appointed boards. The only thing that's gonna transition is you're gonna go from an elective board to an appointed board.
But that's what I think has to be talked about in the transition phase. The
If-
fact that they're not going away immediately.
Yeah, I think
You
that's,
you could mention that here,
You
and
can-
then get into it more deeply
Right.
later on.
Yeah, I would do
Because
that.
also, think about it, they're following along. If you confuse them and say, and now we're moving to page
No, you don't
whatever."
go to the back
what,
of
what
it.
is the date of the hearing?
January 7th.
There Larry.
You've got to follow this.
Yeah.
You're gonna you've got to
Yeah.
follow
Okay,
it
yeah.
and divide it up that way.
Yeah,
You have
Yeah.
to-
Otherwise,
It's
you're just
confusion.
confusing the matter.
Yeah.
and we'll get confused.
Well,
Because it jumping around. So
Yeah.
we've got Article 4 and 5 together. Do we add,
no, because 6
then
goes into.
fiscal is,
6, I think, needs to stand on its own. That's a fairly complicated article in terms of budget process.
Yeah,
so
But-
6,
yeah, 6 is by itself.
Yeah. But I think 7 and 8 could probably be lumped.
8, I really that one I think
that
should
should,
stand
yeah,
alone.
so-
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
8 has to, yeah, because this is brand new.
It's a lengthy
Yeah.
article, but more importantly, I think that it's got to be emphasized, the relief mechanisms built into the charter, because one of the things that we heard at the first one was doing away with town meeting, we're taking away their right to be heard. And I think
Yeah,
that
need to be
that really needs to
really
be, in
slowly and
fact,
clearly
they're getting
defined.
more
Yes.
Bang
rights
for
to
their
be
buck.
heard
Yeah.
in this than they currently have, so I think that needs to be emphasized.
You could put 7 and 8 together because 7 is a 30-second overview of what's
Right.
gonna happen.
You
Yeah,
could.
You really
All right.
could, yeah.
So, and then get into the meat of Article 8.
Let's see, how,
Yeah, because
One, two.
you're
You can
right,
do
town
that.
4
elections is.
presentations, 5, that would be presentation number 6,
Yeah.
if 7 and 8 are together.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
So 9
It's not there.
is not there, but so 9 is with, 10 is
It's really
9.
10.
yeah, but leave it this way
Yeah.
for clarity.
For clarity.
Okay.
Don't change it now.
I'm
So-
sure that will be one of the questions that might need to be an intro.
Yeah.
If we could do it in the intro, and then whoever gets up to start with Article 10, he can start with, this should be Article 9, there was a, but in your book, it shows it's Article 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just
And
kind
then this
of,
is a preliminary draft.
Yeah.
right.
And Article 10, again, is pretty straightforward
Yeah,
and
it
simple.
It is.
It could be lumped with Article 11.
Well, I think that was the intent. 10, 11.
Yeah. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
7 is
presentations.
Article 10, 8, 9. Well, we've got. And then we could do, are we thinking of Article 10 and 11 together?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that's 7
That's 7 presentations.
I'll
presentations.
volunteer not to do
And
one.
then somebody to get up at the end and dispel the myths that were propounded.
Fact checked.
Fact check. So that's
Well,
enough.
the fact check person too, I don't know, do you think a 3-minute overview, put it all together? Legislative bodies, the town council, executive is the.
At the end.
Right,
After
Yeah.
everyone has spoken,
So
right, that's
Yes.
right, so.
here's a reminder.
Right.
would that be number 9? Or no, this is at the end after every.
Well,
It's after
fact check-
everyone has spoken.
Yeah, well, fact check is
Yes,
clearing up the.
so it's another
Yeah.
presenter.
We just want everyone to leave here to remember these 3 things.
Right,
Yeah,
So after fact check, number 9 would be a wrap-up.
right.
no,
Overview? No.
well,
Yes.
I don't,
It's all wrapped together.
All wrapped
Fact check
together.
And
and
wrap.
leave with these 3 things.
So
Okay.
we'll have 8 presenters out of 9.
so, but in between 7 and 8 is
Public
citizen,
participation.
the public
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 hearing.
input,
Yeah.
public,
Yeah.
right, the hearing portion of it, right.
Okay. Got it now.
You want to save input and/or questions till almost the end, rather than after each article?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
you
we're
make
gonna,
that-
we're gonna
Because-
hand these things out to everybody, and they can take notes in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they
Don-
can ask questions.
Don, you can be clear, questions will be taken at the
Yeah.
end.
Because-
Comment and questions.
Yeah, it becomes disjointed when
It
it's,
does.
and the flow.
Knowing that people
Well-
are going to get up and comment on things we haven't talked about yet,
Yeah,
or things that were talked
Yeah.
about earlier, You can't control it, they're gonna be
No.
jumping all over the place.
Potentially go off into left field.
Yeah.
And,
Lose focus.
right,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes
Save all the
sense.
questions to the end.
Pardon?
Save all the questions to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
Before
gonna
the
set,
wrap-up.
Right before the wrap-up.
right, but you're gonna set ground rules when we start, and that's part of the, you know, we're gonna give you the presentation. Please hold your take your notes,
Well-
please hold your questions until the end, and we'll stay here as long as we have to, you know, accommodate them.
After the last public hearing, part of what we heard was we didn't go in depth enough. We didn't give them enough facts and figures.
That's what this is
Um,
about.
I mean, we tried to simplify it and give them an overview of it, of what we were doing. I think this is our chance to go in depth and say, hey, these are the reasons why, this is how we did it, this is who we talked to, how many places we heard from, and really give them all the information, then let them ask their questions.
Right.
And then come back with the fact checking and just say, you know, these are actually,
Sure, because at the previous hearing, we didn't have all the information.
No.
That's
We
true.
hadn't made all the
Right.
decisions yet, so.
Yeah.
so it's gonna be, I agree with you, Ralph, but it's gotta be limited. Because if each presenter is limited to, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes or something along that line, and we haven't talked about that yet, but what did we come up with, 9 of them?
9 sections,
prior to public hearing is 7,
yeah.
which would be
Okay.
But when
So-
we do the
35, 40
presentations,
minutes.
So, right, that's 40 minutes of presentation, so if you gave them, you know, to 10, I mean, if they went 10 minutes on it, now you're talking 80 minutes, and that's, you're not used to it. So, there's that fine line of giving them the right information, but if you sit there and try to give them every bit of information, you're
Right.
gonna lose them.
But I think some of these sections will go quicker than others.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some you have to get into get in depth,
So can we talk about that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Can we kind of try to establish some time frames for each one?
Yeah, I think we need to.
Yeah.
Oh, I
think
definitely
we have
think we
to.
need
Because
to.
the more guidance, the easier it is to write.
Right,
Right. And the other thing is we should do is, so if we're gonna have a PowerPoint presentation and we're gonna go through things, we should make that available, you know, on our Facebook page, on our website.
yeah.
You know, if we can, expend some money and also maybe hand out some of that as well to people who might wanna have it and keep notes and,
So here's when it comes to the mechanics of this, I'm not quite sure the best way to do it. Because if you look at our schedule, you look at the calendar with the holidays in there, we're under crunch time.
There is.
We can't really do this by email because you can't deliberate by email, and quite frankly, this is gonna take some deliberation, so.
Honestly, we'll need one more.
we need to
We need-
meet between Christmas and New Year.
We
Yeah,
do.
I think so.
With the first draft of the presentation done, so that we can all throw it up on the screen,
Look at it.
right, beat it
Look at
up,
it.
make the changes so that we're ready to go. Then it has to be distributed to everyone who's speaking, so they can be
Practice.
prepared for it, so we're under some,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not done. It's not, this is only part of it.
no, I wasn't saying we're done,
Yeah,
but
no.
we're under some tight
We are.
timelines
So-
right now for this.
So I think introduction is important.
Yeah.
I think if you could do those 3 sections in 10 minutes.
do-
And
as-
I have
as-
most of this material.
Yeah.
As we break
By
these down, do we
hand
want to decide who on each of these?
I think it's time to do that. yeah.
Well, I think Dawn,
So
I'll do
Dawn
the
said she'd like to
opening
do
and
the opening.
introduce everyone, but I also have all of this stuff easily at hand.
Yep.
I would
And
like
I'm sure
to-
all of you do too.
I would like to volunteer to do Articles 7 and 8, if no one else wants to get into those.
The election.
That's citizen initiative and recall.
That's 7.
That's 8, 7 is general, sort of general provisions.
That one was
8 is the
relative.
citizen participation,
citizen. 7 is town elections.
town
Which
elections.
is pretty straightforward.
And then citizen
8 is,
relief.
Citizen relief, which needs a little more explanation and a little bit of cheerleading on that this is something you don't have now. Unless somebody else wants to. grab it.
No, either way, you're right, it needs cheerleading, that's,
Yeah.
so, as long as you do that, I'm happy with.
Time-wise,
5 minutes, you could do it.
we'll write these down as goals and add it.
You have initiative, referendum, and recall.
Yeah.
I think you need more than 5 minutes.
I do
Yeah,
too,
so do I. I think you
Well,
because it can get complicated.
give them 8 anyway.
Yeah,
Okay, give me 8.
8 minutes.
Because, I mean, they're all, basically, you're right to question what the town council is doing or town officials are doing, and they're just for different aspects of it.
Yeah. And I don't think you need to get into the
Numbers.
weeds with the
No.
numbers,
No, I'm not
right?
gonna get into the weeds with the numbers,
No.
people can read that.
But we need to also keep stressing, we have not forgotten citizen participation.
Right.
Citizen input in decisions that are made, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
You still have a
And
voice.
Still have a voice.
I'll do 10 and 11 if,
Public hearing?
um,
Not public hearing. Nah.
Transition.
general provisions, but the more important one is the transition provisions. Unless somebody else wants to have their heart set on that one.
That one is going to be another important one on the
Yeah.
transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
things
And
are
that
all-
should probably have some time to it, yes?
I'll do fact checking.
Yeah, I know, you're salivating at that.
I'm not sure he has the patience to.
And that may be more of an open.
I heard that the other night, really?
So on the fact checking and a wrap up, that may be a little more open.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
For 10 and 11,
8?
I don't know, well, I was gonna say around 7 minutes. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think-
go with the 8.
Just so we have a running clock, so we
fin-
can
finish early,
goals.
it's
These are
okay.
goals, they're.
Yeah,
on-
yeah, you don't.
Yeah, right,
We'll
right.
just,
Well, here's the thing,
But I wanna see what it all adds up to
Yes.
when we're done here.
the next meeting we'll have a better idea of what it comes out looking like.
Right.
So this is only like a rough draft.
so we still have definitions, Article 1 and 2. Article 3 itself is executive. 4 and 5.
So,
Article 3?
executive?
Town manager.
Yeah,
Town
good,
manager.
good,
I'll do,
good.
I'll do 1 and 2.
Where I think it's perfect for town minute. I think it's
Town,
perfect for
yeah.
executive.
I
Yes.
think it's a good marriage.
What's, no, I.
If you show up
I-
at town hall tomorrow, you never
I-
know what's gonna happen.
So, timeline for these two.
4 and 5 hasn't been, I'll go, take this first, sorry.
Yeah, that's very quick. How many minutes?
For
Yeah,
4
which
and
ones are
5.
we considering, say that?
Yeah,
4 and, well,
Well,
who do we have?
wait.
I'll do 1 and, I'll do 1 and 2.
You're doing Article 1 and 2.
Yes.
Second presentation. How many minutes do you
We,
think?
second presentation,
Yes, I've got them broken down into
Oh,
not only what
oh.
we're doing, but the number of presentations.
Oh.
You're number 2 up on it.
oh, okay, how many,
5?
Well, one's gonna be a breeze.
one's,
Yeah,
there,
one
one is
is-
just
One's quick.
definitions.
It's-
2,
It's all
The
legislative.
town council?
Town council.
5 to 7, you know, just, you know, again, Eric said it, or George said it, if you finish early, big deal.
Larry, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking how to present it, and there's gonna be some overlap. And the overlap will come, what does a town manager do, but what's a town manager replace? Right,
Yeah,
you've gotta get into
descriptive.
things like replacing the board of selectmen.
Same with town council.
Well, when to your point, I will start because Article 2 talks about the town council. The town council is replacing the board of selectmen, so I'm gonna get into,
No, it's
No.
not. Replacing the
No.
town,
well,
town meeting.
Town meeting, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Town meeting. So I'm gonna get into that and talk about the members of the town council. But the first part is it replaces town meeting. And then you're gonna carry over with how the executive reports.
Yeah, the dilemma is that the town manager is going to replace, we'll say the Board of Public Works, Board of Selectmen, but there will be still a Board of Public Works. I don't know how in-depth we need to, and say why it's an advisory board to the town manager, but almost having like a pyramid. And maybe that would be the best way, I'm thinking out loud here, and show how we have, and we have the chart now of the town.
Flow chart.
Having a, yes, exactly.
Yeah, and visual is good, because
That's right.
bang, all these silos and then a pyramid.
So if you ask me how long between 5 and 7 minutes.
So, both of those two presenters, presenter number 2 and presenter number 3, I think have to spend some time on the whys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right,
To
not,
fill
not
in the
just that,
blanks,
right,
yes.
not just that, you know, the town manager's replacing the board of selectmen, or the council's replacing town meeting, but why? Well, how did we come to those?
Well, I mean, the basic principle that we all talked about is you can make financial decisions twice a year, town meeting.
Right, but that
Yeah.
fleshes it out.
Right,
You're
but that's
fleshing
the
it
saying is,
beginning of the
right.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That we want to make things run more efficiently. Part of our charge is to look at how to make government more efficient here. And this is how we derive.
Through
it.
structural
Through structural
needs,
yes.
yeah. So I'm thinking more 7 minutes than
Yeah,
5. I'm thinking, you've got a lot of,
give them the 7, and
Descriptive.
we'll have a, we'll
it
have a
will be
rehearsal.
long, we know this. This
Yeah.
is not something that we should
We shouldn't rush
short
through it,
shrift.
no.
Yes, it needs to be,
No, like I said, the balance is, you know, not losing the folks too,
yeah,
Right.
you know?
kind of like in college.
Yeah, exactly.
Russ's rule, 2 hours.
Not on presentations,
No.
it shouldn't be 2 hours.
No, I know that, but losing focus.
Next,
So what do we have, 4 and 5 and 6?
4,
5 and
4 and
6.
5, and then
4 and
another presenter for
6.
6.
Yep.
yes,
If you want, I will take 4 and 5.
okay.
It doesn't seem like there's a heck of a lot, especially after coming after town manager.
5 minutes.
5 minutes is plenty. Do you want me to stretch it to 5 minutes, or?
Well, we'll
No,
put
when
it
it-
down and then we can, you know.
Tom, would you be comfortable with Article 6?
I'm having a little bit of a concern because I've got a lot going on for the holidays.
Mhm.
I've got guests,
You are.
I'm traveling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can.
Ray?
Yeah, I don't know if I can spend any time to do this the way it
Is
should
Ray
be
gonna
done.
be here?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he will
think,
be.
well,
He
It's-
will
it's a
be
bad
here for the
time. I
hearing,
know
the
it's a
problem
bad
is
time.
I don't think he's, like Tom, he's,
Yeah, he's
I don't think he's
out and
back
about.
until
Yeah.
after all the holidays, so
what do you
he's not
think
gonna be
about?
here
I
to
mean, it's-
contribute.
it's
or-
just a bad time.
I can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do it.
Well, you'll be up
Well-
at, well, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do it.
Okay.
You're on appropriations, right? You should be able to talk about.
I should
Yeah.
be
Well,
after
that's what I
9
was
years of
thinking.
doing
Okay.
it.
I don't know if you're gonna need, I mean, the Russ is gonna be a fact checker, if you're gonna be a note taker.
Yeah.
Or something
Well, you're
to
the
that, I
stand,
mean,
you know you're
I-
the standard
I'm
note
gonna be
taker.
there.
I was
All right,
gonna
you
I'm
wanna
ask
gonna
do
be
that?
there,
Yeah.
I'll be here on the side, so,
Yeah.
I would
So you
never
can be
go.
listening,
That's fine.
and I can
Yeah.
What do you
work with
think you
you.
need for time, Russ?
5 or 6 minutes.
Give
Because
him
Russ will
give
be
him
out
the
doing 6.
Add it up,
and
and
I
where
can
are
be
we?
jotting down stuff that maybe need to be fact
yeah.
checked.
Yeah,
You
that's
have a, let me read them and you can add. Sound good? I'm gonna go to
Yeah.
the long ones.
Yeah, well.
Ready?
Go to,
No.
yeah.
Well,
Calculate.
I
Okay, now I'm ready.
Dawn, I have you at 10.
10.
I have.
Hang on, we'll go down. I have them written down. 10,
Yep.
7, 7. Ralph, what did you decide?
5.
5, 6. Wait, oops, sorry, that's Article 6. You figured 6 minutes?
Yeah.
6? Okay, 8, 8,
7 and 8.
Yep.
and then we're into the fact check that is open. So what
Well,
do you have?
that's at the end,
Right.
so we're at 51
51
minutes.
That's right on.
No, you have 7.
That's about
You
what
have
we
7
figured.
for 10 and 11,
Yeah,
Eric's.
yeah, that wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
So you're in an
then
hour.
we're at 58, we're at an hour.
Okay.
about-
7,
15,
That's
21,
doable.
3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 31.
And,
48.
yeah,
I've
as
got
I go
50.
through, it may not be 10 minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, it's
Well,
it's
I think
51.
when,
Yeah.
when we put it all together, the next meeting, you'll have an idea of what it's gonna look like. And it won't be any more than what we've talked about, I don't think.
And
Yeah.
remember that when you think you're speaking slowly, you actually need to slow it
Yeah.
down even more. So,
So the next meeting, I'm thinking what we should do is whoever's gonna work on the PowerPoint, and I'm assuming we all wanna use a PowerPoint, or do some
It's a
presenters wanna
good
go without it?
visual.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That at the next meeting, we're kind of, we not only put the PowerPoint up, but we make any modifications to it right then and there, so that,
I'm
so
also,
in other words, what I'm saying, it could be a little bit lengthier meeting.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
And I'm thinking that each person should take theirs and do a mock-up so that whoever's doing the PowerPoint, putting it together, is taking it from the mock-up rather than, I don't think one person should, they can create it, but we should each take
Tribute.
ownership of our
Yeah.
piece and
So
do
if,
that.
if that's the way you wanna do it, then, that actually works out good. If everybody wants to work on, everybody have access to and can generate a PowerPoint?
No.
No?
Not everyone.
I do.
No, but if it gets fed to, are you gonna put it together? Because
Well, if they
gets
sent it,
fed,
if they sent
then
me
they can-
their versions in the PowerPoint,
Yeah.
I can put it all together, make them all the same color and the same font, so it looks like it's one presentation.
Or if they could, like Larry doesn't have PowerPoint, but he could write out what he wants, so that you can then just translate
Yeah, I could
it.
work with Larry on getting,
Yeah.
getting the
Because
PowerPoint
his
done.
visual idea, I think, is excellent,
Yeah.
of the flow chart.
Mhm.
If that
Right.
just, bang, you can see it.
So there's another possibility where it can be of assistance, since I will be back by the 7th. I can operate the PowerPoint presentation for the speakers, so you don't have to concentrate on doing two different things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
that would
So,
help.
and I can also take the notes.
Or Ray, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
which are-
I
which
will
work.
be talking to Ryan about, or Carolyn, I'll find out whoever gets the sound system here.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're meeting again, oops,
Yeah.
You can't meet on a Thursday.
no,
No.
No, we can't.
I can.
I will tell you next, I can't believe this month is already almost over. Next Tuesday and Wednesday, I am out of town.
No, not next week.
Not
the
next
week
Good,
after.
the week after.
Week after.
Good.
so,
Need a
well, that Tuesday, actually, any evening, 28, 29, or 30 works for me.
Yeah.
Likewise, we canceled planning board for the 29th,
Yeah, appropriations doesn't meet on the
Hopefully.
29th.
hopefully, yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, we
We
were
always
posting
leave it
just
open in case some
something,
emergency comes
Oh.
up.
You know,
Well, the end of the year.
You never know.
Hasn't happened in 4 years, but
I won't
just
be
in
here.
case.
Okay, that week.
I can send you a material.
Well, if you work with Eric, he should have it on.
Do I have to?
In the spirit of
To this day, he's worked in
cooperation.
spite of Eric, so.
Yeah, well, there we go. So what day
Does
are
that
we
mean
looking?
if we find any extras, we can give them to Larry?
Yeah.
Everyone else
But,
has?
Oh, December, what date?
When,
Yeah, that's fine.
On
Wednesday
the
the
same
30th
day
is
as
fine with
what the
me.
planning
Yeah.
board would, or do they need?
Does Wednesday, the 30th work for most
Fine with
people
me.
Yeah.
here?
Right now. it does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can make it work.
Wednesday, December 30th. Marge, get on me about posting for that. Thank you.
So if that's the case then, hold on, let me get this etched in stone here, okay. Then the drop dead date, I need everybody's presentation.
6:15 on December 30th.
That's
At
what I was
least.
thinking too.
Not a minute earlier.
Forget it then.
You can't handle that?
No,
Come on.
no, I mean, I figure, Monday and or Tuesday, working on it, so if you can get it to me by the end of the weekend on the 27th.
Oh, talk about pressure.
And that'll give me, 2 days to get it together. In case one of the days I can't work on it, so trying to build in a little.
Is there any specific way we want the PowerPoint done
I gotta
with
see what's
bullet
on my
points or
computer.
flow charts or anything like that,
do
or
it,
just?
and Eric will put them all in the same format.
Yeah,
I'd like to
I'm
make-
actually, I was
Whatever your
gonna,
references
unless
like.
it really needs a lot of editing, which I can't imagine if was thinking if everybody kind of did it in your style, however you're comfortable presenting. I was gonna pretty much leave it that way.
Okay.
I mean, if I see a misspelled word, not that I'm gonna know it's misspelled, but if I see a misspelled word or something, I'll fix that, but, I wasn't going to really change the format a whole lot because every presenter has their own style.
But you do want to have a consistent,
Font and that, yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
you-
But I think that's the
In a
easy part.
consistent,
Easy to do
you know,
pictures.
color background,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that
that's-
stuff, yeah. That's the easy stuff to do, but,
We should make sure we say we're not getting rid of the parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone
Mon
would be.
Pie and Chevrolet.
Apple pie.
Yeah. Everyone would be responsible also for creating and writing their own scripts if they want
Yes.
to choose a script.
And
Again,
it
it's a
follows-
stylistic thing.
yeah.
Yeah, it follows.
Don?
Yes.
So, with respect to the layout, the actual visual PowerPoint and the fonts, if you're talking about in here, you would either have to get a screen from Ryan or you're gonna be presenting on a TV, which means in order for it to be visible for people in the back,
Yeah.
you really have
Good
to
point.
limit the amount of text that's on each page, for people to be able to see it.
I'll
I was
talk to
gonna-
You
Ryan.
don't
I was
want to
gonna
make
ask
people
about a
read
screen.
tiny words
Right.
in PowerPoint.
Right.
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask what, because I've never seen a screen out there.
Well, I'll
Usually
talk to
use a
Ryan.
TV.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I've seen the TV.
Yeah,
Portable
that's
screens are not
small.
huge, so
I think we should do pictures.
just making that point.
Rentals, potential,
Pardon?
maybe borrow one or rent one.
Yeah, first I'll talk to Ryan
Schools
and
have
see
something.
what we have available.
No, because there's
See
a
if we
drop-down
have
screen in
anything.
the auditorium.
We may be able to, I'm wondering if any
Famous
businesses
whiteboards?
have any.
Not the
we have.
famous whiteboard.
Some
Use
do.
the famous
Yeah.
whiteboards.
Russ, does Field Eddy have one?
No.
We'll try, I'll start figuring something out.
Yeah, because that's critical.
Yeah,
Because if we
that's
don't-
a good point. It's,
If we can't,
you will lose people.
before, if it's just, I mean, we can create a document that people can follow along with. If we can't use a standard PowerPoint, because I'm not sure if anything, how big of a screen they have. It's gotta be big enough where somebody in the back can see clearly.
I know, that worries me that.
That worries
that
me
we come
too.
up with a makeshift. But I would
Sheets.
first talk to Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
My
find
guess
out.
is they've dealt with it before, and they already have a way, but
You can
If-
rent a 70 by 70 inch projection screen from Taylor Rental for $30.
Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I can take
And
care of that.
They go bigger, they go up to 96 by 96 if you need a bigger one for $42.
What about a jumbotron?
Center of town,
There we go.
hey, there you go.
At rush
Continuous,
hour.
Yeah.
Well,
You
it's-
always got
it's a
rent a
size and
center.
height thing too, because we're gonna be on one level.
Yeah.
So someone sitting in the back's gonna be looking through heads, trying to look at a presentation, so,
I think they have
The
prices.
higher-
Or you put it on
the
the
larger.
table.
yeah.
I for you to go on stage. Isn't there still a stage?
No, there's no
No.
stage.
There's no stage there
No.
anymore?
You put two
Walk
tables
by it
together
100
and put it on
times.
top of the table.
Yeah, it can be elevated.
So it could be a
Yeah.
They used to have
70 by, what is
Yeah.
it, 70?
70
Well,
by
they go up to
70.
96 by 96, which is pretty
Let me
big.
talk to Ryan
yeah.
first, see what we've got, and
Yeah.
then from there,
I
we'll,
think we can afford $42 if
yeah.
it comes to that. And then you
Other
get-
issues for the presentation, Larry?
Well, it's somewhat related. We should remind people that this is preliminary, and this commission has the right to make changes. And
That would be good in the wrap.
we're not
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
People may see things that we've forgotten or have comments on what we put
Mm-hmm.
in, and that's very
You want to
important.
hear it?
This is not final, not in stone.
No.
Yep.
And so everyone's comments, and if you can't come to the public hearing, you can make those comments known, or if you have questions, feel free. The other thing is, not everyone in town gets the reminder. We ought to let people know, we can let them know now where these are available. They're available at the clerk's office, library. Are we gonna make any available there? Can we put this on the website?
We can put the document on the website, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a copy that includes and I'll send it to you, George, includes the opening little letter.
Okay, send it as a PDF,
Okay.
because that's the only way we can put something on the website.
So if you could send that to me as a PDF, and I'll put it on a Facebook page.
Sure.
When is the final document due? Do we have a date?
We actually, the AG will get this done, I got
Facebook,
no,
you can put a link to the
January
website.
8th.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And
Right.
then
Okay.
I should have brought my timeline, I left it on the desk.
I just want to let people
Go on the
know,
book.
when we have to submit the final.
Yeah, well, I have to
Version.
run through because I also have to present to the board. Pardon?
60 days prior
I
to
believe.
election?
But
Yeah,
when
I
does it-
believe so.
when
There's
does-
quite a time.
Okay, so when does this get presented to the Board of Selectmen?
After our public hearing and enough time, I'll have to back it up to
Okay.
let them know that it's coming out of their budget by law.
Yeah,
But are they the ones who present it to
They do
the
not.
Attorney General for final review?
I thought the town clerk would.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
It is the
clerk.
town
Yes,
clerk.
the-
Okay.
Yeah, the selectmen have no,
Okay.
they just pay the
they,
bill.
they pay the final.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the town clerk that has to.
Yes, yes.
Well, we all should probably try and attend that Board of Selectmen hearing, meeting.
Yes, I would like the full showing.
So you're talking middle of February, by
Yeah,
the middle of
by
February.
the middle of February.
So, yeah, it might be in our best interest to
Attorney
get on
General
the
has 4
agenda.
weeks to respond, so
Rolling.
if we
So-
send it, if we're up in
Yeah.
the board January.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good.
I don't know if they have a calendar out there for you.
Well, my guess is not right now with-
Attorney General.
Probably.
With
Must be
everything
Yeah.
2
that's
months before
going
the
on, but
ballot.
yeah.
So
Right
by
after
February
the first
14th.
of the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15th, right. Town election the 16th of April.
And I would,
Yeah.
I would only recommend that
Everyone wants to have some time.
the meeting that we do present to them, if that has to be done within a certain time before the election, that we give ourselves some wiggle room in case the meeting is canceled for some reason out of our control.
yeah. That's why I asked if they had a calendar, and we'll just get on 2 meetings, or talk about 2 meetings as a backup.
Yeah.
Okay, so George, I'm sending to you as a PDF. I'm talking to Ryan and getting his direction, and if not, we have a fallback to Taylor Rental. After the first of the year, I will get on the agenda. Hopefully they have everything planned out when they're meeting. And we'll get on the agenda to present to them and inform them of their responsibilities.
One quick question. Before we post it, should we correct the numerical error in the articles so that the posted one has Article 9 and 10 instead of 10 and 11? It's just a cosmetic thing. It doesn't affect the...
I would,
Yeah, you can do that because we're not really talking about it, it's for people to read.
Yeah,
And there's a difference between what we're gonna be talking about that night
yeah.
as opposed to what's up there on the website.
Because
or
unless we put a
Facebook.
disclaimer,
I just-
people are gonna go, where's Article 9?
Yeah,
And if we fix it, it's not changing anything substantive.
No.
yes, I would, so that the correct one's up there, and then it makes a whole lot of sense to people when you say this was just,
Right, a
it was a
clerical
mistake,
error.
Yeah.
clerical error on our part.
I think it came from that, we had one, and I think it just didn't follow all the way through.
Yeah.
That's what, okay. Are we done discussing our jobs for this?
yes.
Yes.
We also have, I know Marge has wanted us to do minutes, because she's been so diligent, and last time I forgot.
There should
Yeah,
be
so
3.
we have the other ones too,
There should be 3.
We
I
do.
think.
correct?
Correct, we had 2 sets.
There's only one here.
The other set
The other
was,
set were
Yeah,
in the
we
other
received
packet.
the
We
other
had that.
sets.
Yeah, we've received
Yeah.
all the sets.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were the meeting dates?
December 3rd, December 5th, and December 10th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 3rd.
Second.
I think we're gonna keep
Discussion?
going.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I move that we approve the minutes of December 5th.
Second.
All discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I make a
Remember
motion that we
that.
approve the minutes of December 10th.
Second.
Discussion. You good with it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm
Accept?
fine.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
All in
reading.
favor, please say
Aye.
Aye.
For it.
Oh, you're into that.
And then what about these?
Calendar, we've
Yeah.
talked about a bit.
Yeah.
This relates to it.
All right,
Go
it's
ahead.
2 months.
Yeah,
All right,
60 days or 2 months.
no, it's 2 months.
2 months.
All right,
Yep.
so
Back
within
up.
18 months of our election, we have to do the final report, and we submit it to the Board of Selectmen. And it then has to be submitted to the voters at the first annual town meeting, held at least 2 months after such submission. Okay?
Town meeting?
Town meeting or town election?
Town election.
Okay.
Town election,
Yeah,
That'd be scary.
yeah.
okay? So,
You know, and I will tell you that if I ask Collins Center, they will back it up and they will write it and talk to the AG regarding calendar, because we've had calendar issues, obviously, and they get right down to it. So I will have Tanya write me out a check off. We also did, I don't know if I was clear, but the draft will come back to us. They're pretty quick with their turnaround. By January 8th, we will know what changes, if any, they are recommending. So we could then, after public hearing, we can then go back and look and see if there's any structural changes they want. And then it's proofreading and tightening it up for that final draft. Hopefully, there won't be much, because we worked pretty
We're
hard
pretty
on it,
thorough.
and it's gone through the ringer. I've had people ask, who is this mythical Marilyn?
Yeah,
That
I
they
know.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met her 10 years ago. Yeah, I think she came to our charter commission then.
So she's put in.
And I've since spoken to her when we were in our
Oh, okay.
initial stage.
Right.
She is alive.
Let's say the
Okay.
14th of
Yeah.
January.
We're aware of that. She's.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Basically, 2 weeks to get it done and get it back to us.
Seems like Mike and Tanya are afraid of her at times.
She's the girl.
Yeah.
The AG has said she is the one. They will call her at times for information. Anything else you want to talk about?
Move to adjourn.
Before we do that, I have to tell you I made a mistake. I don't know if it was last meeting or the meeting before, that our police chief's position in town is no longer under civil service. About 10 years ago, town meeting voted to remove it from civil service. And I got a call today from someone who watched our meeting, which is a good thing, that
Yeah.
someone's watching our meetings, and so I stand corrected.
Okay.
I don't think it affects anything we've done.
No.
No.
It's just
For the record.
For the record.
for the record.
Okay.
We
I'll s-
have,
I'll second Russ's motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? Thank you.